tried to ask, where were you? So we never got the answer. Here we are today. Where have you been?
Well, I couldn't attend the conference of the EFF, the NPA, because over a dispute over my suspension. I was suspended about 6 weeks before the conference, and the suspension was unconventional in that it didn't rely on the code of conduct of the EFF summoned by its constitution, but largely the suspension rested on 2 counts.
Yeah.
On the one hand, the leadership said that it's in possession of an intelligence report in which they claim that I'm part of the infiltration strategy by the MKP. I'm working with the MKP. I'm planning to go to join them. I'm waiting for some opportune moment. The second one largely rested on the fact that I knew about the then Deputy President Floyd Shivambu's departure, and I didn't tell the leadership. Of course, I was told to stay at home, cease my participation in Parliament and the rest of the activities of the EFF. And so it was very important for me, because they said that the investigation is still ongoing, and when the investigation is finished, I then would be given an opportunity to respond to these allegations. I think we can all agree these are dangerous and very serious allegations. At a later stage, the leadership argued that the report would only be ready after conference, and the matter has been referred to the leadership after the conference. It seemed fair for me to wait to clear my name in relation to these allegations, so that I don't function with a cloud, a dark cloud on my head or a gun on my face. As I said, we can all agree these are very serious allegations that one had betrayed the revolution, had been disloyal, and that indeed you are a double agent of some sort. Of course, I can state categorically now that I never planned to join the MKP. I still don't. I never worked with anybody in the MKP in relation to some conspiracy about my departure. And I think that whatever information they say they have was based largely on lies. Secondly, I did know about the departure of Floyd Shivambu. He did come to tell me of his consideration, and indeed I did tell him that, look, you would have to take the leadership into confidence, and he did. The idea that I should have ran behind his back and informed other people or the leadership suggests that I'm an informant, a gossiper, or a wedge driver. I am none of those. It was Floyd's decision. He had to communicate it. It was not my decision. It was his. He had to communicate it, and he did.
Maybe on that issue of you being suspended, so did those investigations continue? Where are they now? What has happened? Has there been finality?
Well, no, I haven't heard of anything. Obviously, the conference constituted a moment of the end of the term of office that I was part of as the leader of the EFF. And I hoped very deeply that post the conference, there would be reconsideration of these positions, in particular, that moment of natural justice, that moment of giving me an opportunity to respond to what are damning allegations from an organization that I gave my life to and that I love. But that has not come through, and I think that we can all read the room. I did, and so can any thinking person. That is why I think it's important to give the general public a closure on this matter. I will not be pursuing any of that report, because the attitude of the collective leadership is very clear. I don't think there's any interest, and personally as well, I've let it go.
Yeah. So given that there hasn't been anything that has been forthcoming in terms of explaining that, so do you sometimes or perhaps feel you were sidelined? We remember, some of us in the media, hearing your name, that you could possibly be one of the top 6 officials. Do you perhaps think that was one way of sidelining you?
Well, it's neither here nor there. I think that, you see, it's now a matter of public record that our leadership has been engaged with President Zuma as well as the MKP for a very long time ago. My count is that over the last 3 to 4 years. It is that tactic of entanglement which, in my view, was responsible for the heavy losses, as it were, that we saw the EFF sustain in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, being overtaken in Mpumalanga, as well as in the National Assembly. Tactics of entanglement. We had already been entangled by the leadership itself, and this entanglement, in my view, which I think it was a miscalculated tactic of entanglement, should be understood for what is responsible for what rocked us, in relation to the departure of the then Deputy President and ultimately Botali. But it's a matter of public record whether they tried to seek his endorsement, cooperation during the elections. You would recall the leadership had on many occasions said, we are one with the MKP and all of that. I think it's really that. I would hope that it had nothing to do with this or that position in the organization, but seemingly the distrust that was invited, in my view, by the departure of the Deputy President, which I think it shouldn't have, because if you accept that you had already entangled us with the MKP, such an occurrence shouldn't have to